Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. I thought I'd just give a quick background to myself. I spent about a decade building very large concentrating solar power plants, and in fact, if you go back to university, I even wrote my thesis on high temperature thermal energy storage for CSP. So I can actually say that I've been in energy storage for about 15 years now. I joined a company called Geli, which is a weird name. It actually stands for Growing Energy Labs Incorporated, about 3 years ago to team up with these two fine young gentlemen that started the company back in 2010. And their vision for the organization was that there was going to be this emerging Internet of Energy in which all of these assets were going to need to be networked together, and that was the future of the grid. What really was required was akin to how Microsoft has approached the computing industry. In fact, we think of energy storage as energy computing. And our core technology is the energy operating system. It's a software platform that runs applications on it, can run on different energy computers. And we've spent the last 6 or 7 years now demonstrating that ability to work with different energy computers at different scales and different applications. Our platform is intended to address this emerging Internet of Energy and provide a virtual power plant. So you aggregate all these assets together and you really do have the capability to substitute for virtual power plants. Coming out of the solar industry, even though our core software products, the energy operating system, I realized that before you even deploy a solar project, you need to understand how much solar energy is going to be generated by the asset. What is the value of that solar energy? And there's countless numbers of analytics products out there in the market. PV-Syst is one, SAM, the PV Complete, the list goes on, where you can actually work out what am I going to save. And what was absent in the energy storage market was the ability to actually understand, well, how much is that energy storage system going to save me? And so we actually set about developing what we called eSyst to be the PV-Syst equivalent. And it's important to also understand that in energy storage world, it's not just power, it's also energy. And most people, I think, confuse kilowatts from kilowatt hours. If you said that you didn't know the difference between a kilometre and a kilometre per hour, you'd obviously think, no, I should know that. But truly, people don't know their kilowatts from their kilowatt hours, and I think a power purchase agreement is actually a perfect example of that. It's actually an energy purchase agreement, so it's not actually selling power. So eSyst can rapidly qualify the opportunity as you think about community energy and how do you actually quantify the value of adding energy storage. And so we've put a lot of focus in creating the ability for our partners to actually qualify those opportunities. Most importantly, similarly to when you model solar and you pull in the weather file for Melbourne or Sydney or Perth or wherever, if you use the wrong weather file, don't be surprised if you get a very different output. And so we provide continuity through analytics to automation. And we're putting a lot of effort into bankability and getting banks and we're working with NREL, National Renewable Energy Laboratory in the States. How do you make sure that prediction aligns? Because ultimately what really propelled solar forward was bankability, the financing structures that would enable it to happen. Also on the back end is the importance for the monitoring, making sure these assets actually deliver over their lifetime. And you can get a 25-year warranty on a solar panel. Can anyone in this room tell me, well, who's got energy storage in this room out of interest? Anybody? One person. How long is your battery going to last you? Yeah, it's pretty vague, isn't it? So if you're actually doing the data analytics on the back end, you can actually work out, well, exactly how long that's going to last, and that's important when it comes to financing. Because there are 13 different things that the Rocky Mountain Institute have said that you can actually do with your battery. And it's about trying to work out what should I be doing with my battery at what particular point in time. And Dean touched on, there's retail value in the wholesale market, there's network value, there's actually the customer's interest. But then if you actually look at the network value piece, there's actually half a dozen or so different applications in there. So what you really need is to co-optimize all those different applications and deliver, all of them at the same time. And so that's what we ultimately focus on, is the co-optimization of those applications to maximize the value proposition for the customer, the retailer, and the network. I touched on virtual power plants. It's this is our third sort of product making up the platform, the Genie, or the Global Energy Network interface. This is intended to be enabling all those assets to be aggregated up and ultimately subscribe to networks delivering networks that need support. We've seen in South Australia that they definitely needed support, so they would call on these assets to deliver them. We're based in San Francisco. We have projects all around the world. Very excited to be here in Australia now, coming back home. You can hear I've got a little bit of a twang to my accent. I've been away now for nearly 10 years. Last thing I wanted to maybe just touch on, because I'm running out of time, is the importance of education. And we've always put a very strong emphasis in educating people, and we almost work exclusively in a business-to-business manner in the States, and we're going to carry that through over here. So how can, within your communities, you embrace this very uncertain new technology where people are talking kilowatts and kilowatt hours and eyes are glazing over? And I think that starts with the grassroots education system, whether that be via TAFEs or other contracting programs, and delighted to extend that conversation with you at some future point in time. So thank you very much.